Oh, sorry. That was still muted. So let's try this again. Welcome to tonight's Chair League match between Prism and Deathbots. The match tonight will be on Brax's Holdout. So I'm just going ahead and getting the draft all set up here. And we'll be good to go in just a minute. So just getting the lobby all set up. Okay, now I think we're all good. So I'm just giving out the captain's links and then we'll be all good to go. Okay, so draft links have been given out, so hopefully we should be good to go here shortly. So I guess while we wait for both teams to ready up, I guess the big heroes news today is the PTR being updated with Samuro and Brawl mode. So personally, I'm sure I'm the only person who has this opinion, but I don't know. I think Brawl is pretty retarded, pretty stupid. So I had a match earlier where we had like KT and Gul'dan on our team. You know, 2 mages. The other team, 3 Novas. 3 Novas. Because what's more fun than 1 Nova in quick match? 3. If some is good, more is better, right? So Deathbots has readied up, just waiting on Prism to ready up as well. Okay, so we are all good to go. The draft has begun. So once again, the top drafter. So the map is not Infernal Shrines. It is actually Brax's Holdout. So we see Rexxar banned out immediately by Prism. Rexxar very, very strong on this map. He can basically stick Misha on the point, and she's fairly immortal. It's pretty hard to knock her off at that point. And so while he's controlling one of the beacons, he can also go and soak the lane. So Rexxar are very strong on this map, but it's going to be Malfurion banned out for Deathbots. So one thing I didn't go over with the team, apparently Zarya is not on this website yet, so we kind of need to have basically a replacement for Zarya, which has been murky in the past. But I don't know if that has been agreed on at any point. But it's going to be Vala picked up by Prism. So Vala is actually being changed in the patch notes, or the patch that... I'm not sure if the patch is going on the PTR either tomorrow or Wednesday, or if that's just plain going live. But I think she's having some of her other builds increased. I know Death Dealer is getting increased, the Caltrops is getting increased, but her Frost Shot is getting slightly nerfed. So it's going to be interesting. I'm not sure if she's going to have a net increase or net decrease. Might make some of her other builds more viable, which would be interesting. So Deathbots, they're choosing to pick up Thrall and Falstad. So I really like this draft from them so far. So they have Thrall who can solo lane. And they have Falstad who can basically fairly easily zip back and forth to help out whoever needs trouble. In the format, if you're able to win that, then Falstad can go fly top and easily help secure that point as well. So far, the second of the very, very OP heroes in the game right now, Chen picked up by Prism. So they banned out Rexar, who is very good at just kind of controlling a point, just kind of sitting there and being very difficult to make go away. But Chen could also do that very, very well. Very, very effectively, I should say, as well. So they have Chen who can go solo lane, just kind of sit there and be a real nuisance to deal with. And they have Vala who can basically just be part of the 4-man and just really, really put out a lot of damage. So, ban coming out for Deathbots. Oh, I should say Ariel was picked up by Prism too, but I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Ariel. It's so far no one interesting for her to be paired with. Although maybe Cho'Gall? So, Hammer banned out by Deathbots. Trying to get to my channel here so I can look at the chat. Okay, there we go. Hammer banned out by Deathbots. So oops. So they're very afraid of having basically Hammer be part of the 4-man, just kind of sit there and absolutely beat on people. But Brightwing is going to be banned out by Prism. So they're trying to do what they can to limit the rotation between the top and bottom. So Falstad can easily zip up there, but if Falstad was able to do that along with Brightwing, that could be very terrifying. So choosing to limit the global heroes is Prism, which is really going to empower Chen. If he can just sit there and one-on-one someone all day, he's going to win that basically for free. But if that suddenly becomes a 2-on-1 or a 3-on-1, that can be problematic. And if Brightwing just kind of shows up and turns him into a piggy so he can't drink, keep his shields up, it's going to be problematic for him. Chen actually getting a nerf in the next patch. I think they're lowering his health and his regen. I think the damage on his Panda Pals, Storm, Earth, Fire. I could be wrong about that, but I know he's definitely getting a health decrease. So Morales is going to be picked up for Deathbots. And Morales can actually she basically gets a global heroic at 10. I mean, she could choose a medevac and kind of teleport between the points. It's definitely not instant. It takes some time. I think you can take off after 5 seconds at the soonest. And that's after it comes down. So maybe a 6 or second delay before you can do that. But so it's actually going to be Arthas picked up by Prism, which is interesting. So they have their warrior for the top. They have their warrior for the bottom. And it will be Jaina to round out the draft for Prism. So far, I don't see terribly much to deal with Chen. Falser could go Giant Killer, but don't really see him do much of an auto attack build these days. Murden can interrupt his drinking with Stormbolt, but oh, it's going to be Gul'dan. Picked up for Deathbots. I think it's a very strong map for Gul'dan. He has a tremendous amount of sustain in lanes. And his wave clear against the incoming Zergways is very strong. So I mean, basically, his Fell Flame, his Q does a very good job of clearing out the Zergs. It's something he can cast repeatedly as long as he has mana, which he can very easily do if he uses his Drain Life on the big guys. I guess the Ultralisks and the Overlords, I think they're called. I don't play StarCraft, so I'm not totally familiar with what everything's called, but point is with the Zergoids, I mean, there's a lot of targets, so Fell Flame, which is kind of an area attack, it gets a lot of value, and there's a lot of things that just kind of sit there that he can drain life from, which he can turn into mana, which he can use to spam his Fell Flame, so... Okay. I'm being told that one on Prism is taking a little potty break, so... Be ready to go here in just a second. Delay of game, 5-yard penalty. Speaking of football, I believe the Panthers were still winning last I saw. Cam Newton-less Panthers. But yeah, none of us care about football. Oh yeah, so and also quickly. Oh, never mind. I guess we're good to go. I was gonna talk about Samuro, but apparently not. Here we go. That was apparently a very quick potty break. So, on the side of Prism, it is going to be Dr. Smurf on Arthas, Deck on Ariel, Iron Lung on Jaina, Megalomania on Chen, and Brainy Smurf on Vala. And on the side of Deathbots, it is going to be Ouroboros on Gul'dan, Billyfish on Thrall, Grumpy Kitten on Lieutenant Morales, Bellis on Muradin, and Mr. Rilla on Falstad. You know, with Dr. Smurf and Brainy Smurf, I wonder if it is Smurf accounts on the side of Prism. Yeah, I casted a match and there's and wondered the same thing. Still no answer. Not that I ever asked anyone other than myself, kind of out loud, but... Alright, so once my computer is all finished loading here, we shall begin. Let's see, is it... Oh, it's actually Deck who's a little bit delayed. Maybe lag issues, maybe computer issues. I assumed it was me because usually it takes me a while to load up. Just because too many programs are open. Plus this game is so horribly inefficient. Yeah, it's kind of based on the StarCraft 2 engine, so... Probably not doing things in an optimal way in 2016. So yeah, I guess while we wait for Deck to load up, so I was going to talk about Samuro a little bit. It does seem very strong. Does seem like he could be very difficult to deal with, especially in a quick match type setting. But you know, basically he can activate Stealth, which is never fun to deal with. And I guess his illusions, like, I'm not even sure if you can tell which one's the real one or not. I've only played a little bit of Brawl with him, so I don't totally know. But, you know, he has Stealth for ganks, he has Stealth for disengage. You know, he has clones, just like Nova. I think at level 10, he can, uh-oh. Guess we're going to wait a little bit for Deck to come back, but... I think at level 10 you can split up the, what is it, Illusion Master? So I think you can pop that and the illusions will stay present for, I think it's a long time. Being told that, looks like Deck's router was accidentally unplugged, so I'm going to wait here a little bit. But basically you can make the illusions stick around for quite a while, and you can... I guess control them Lost Viking style and split them up and have them push lanes and I don't know, it sounds pretty strong to me. You know, a hero that's a combination of Sonya, Nova, and the Lost Vikings. I mean, he doesn't have anything in terms of sustain, but he has good escapes. So. Ugh. You know, I wish as the replay or observer I could communicate with everyone, but unfortunately I can't. Someone talking about the Blue Jays. I guess maybe they closed out the series today. I don't know. Ugh. So we're still waiting on Deck to come back. Hopefully he's back here shortly. Yeah, maybe I need to give Brawl a little bit more. Another try. I tried it 3 times, and every time it came down to like 98 to 100. Yeah, lost every time. So on my 3rd game of Brawl, it was the 3rd round. The other team had like a Butcher. I think that was the only thing that was like really noteworthy. I was Tracer. We were up like 20 to 50 at one point, and I'm just like, phew, finally gonna win one of these. Jeez. You know, this is pretty much in the bag, and everyone just starts feeding like crazy. And, you know, the other team just barely ekes it out in the end. We're ahead by like 30. It's like, you know, for those who don't know, it's you're trying to get to 100. So I mean, it should be in the bag at that point, but so still waiting on Deck to come back. But yeah, so I assume the Blue Jays won. I assume. So. My brother's an enormous Cubs fan, so I'm kind of wondering what's going on in that game. I could probably check this real quick without missing anything in the game, hopefully. Oh, Cubs are up 3-1. Oh, okay, so the Jays and Rangers did not play today. So. Wow, Boston's out? Wow. Wow. A lot of people are picking them to win the World Series, too. Okay, well, it looks like Deck is back, so... way to finally get things started.
We're about to begin.
So I would expect to see Billyfish on Thrall, probably soloing in the top. And I would expect his opponent to be Chen on Megalomania. Meanwhile, we see Arthas going back to base to get some mana. Even before the game starts, he does consume a tremendous amount of mana. So, as expected, it looks like it will be Thrall and Chen up here in the top lane. Meanwhile, it will be a 4-on-4 in the bottom. Looks like Megalomania has some fans. Nice to see. So, Arthas being engaged on fairly heavily in the bottom, going to have to back out. So one thing I didn't mention about the draft, because they're going against Morales, I do like the Arthas pick. He's a fairly dive-heavy warrior, so... which is kind of what it takes to take down a Morales. If you're unable to dive her, she's pretty much going to out-sustain you all day, so... So, we saw Arthas have to hearth back, and then we saw a gank attempt by Falstad in the top lane. Yeah, Chen not going to be able to drink through both Thrall and Falstad. So yeah, I think that was smart. I think they identified that Arthas had hearth back, so he had an opportunity to fly up and leave this as a 3-on-3 in the bottom. So, you know, a big vault goes in from Vala, and she's able to pick off Gul'dan. So, Thrall, Falstad, sorry, I mean, he can fly up, but it does take him some time to come back, so when he does fly up and gank, it takes him a good 45 seconds to be able to rejoin his team in the bottom lane. Speaking of Falstad, there he is. So it's looking like this bottom beacon may be going over to Prism for the time being. Muradin tanking, Muradin staying on the point as long as he possibly can. And meanwhile, Chen up on the top managed to secure the top beacon as well. So it's going to take... Morales does have tremendous single target healing, but it's still going to take her time to get everyone back up to 100. And ready once again to contest this point. Vala getting awfully low from the corruption from Gul'dan, but gets a heal just in time from Deck on Ariel. And manages to stay alive. So, luckily for Prism, that was not AI. Because that was a human Ariel player. Going to be able to get Vala the heal she needs time. Meanwhile, we did see Falstad fly top. This time unable to pick off Megalomania on Chen. But we do see some harassment on him, and we see control of the top beacon going over to Deathbots. Meanwhile, bottom is not going to be under their control, but with Morales and Muradin and Gul'dan, they still have a tremendous amount of sustain, so not going to lose the lane, but not going to control the point either. So Morales getting awfully low on health and mana. So Muradin going to have to jump out. I would like to see Morales cancel her healing beam there on Muradin. He does have this trait, and he did take third wind, so you don't really need to heal Muradin unless he's really in some trouble. Or you can even wait till he gets to the 60% mark and then heal him, because that's when his trait doesn't heal quite as fast. So Arthas taken down, but we did see Gul'dan being focused on fairly heavily. For whatever reason, Vala decided not to do that anymore. But the life drain from Gul'dan, not going to save him, but it's going to keep him alive long enough that Vala will be taken down. So control of the bottom point is going over to Deathbots. Don't think Ariel going to be able to do anything about that for the time being. Meanwhile, Chen doing a great job of controlling the top point. Falstad completely, or Thrall completely out of health and mana, forced to back off. But unfortunately for Chen, Falstad is back up to assist Thrall. And I actually like this a lot. Chen can't really sit there and just drink on the point if Falstad's around. Falstad did take Gathering Storm, so if he sits there and lets... Ooh, great juke by Falstad. Doing a great job of getting out of there. Dodging the root from Arthas. So, not going to control the top point, but he's going to get out of there and stay alive, which is very important. They do have a talent and XP lead, so... Meanwhile, only 2% more needed for Prism. Even though they're down a level in a talent, or they were momentarily, unable to control the point. So finally, we see both beacons go over to Deathbots. Gul'dan in a lot of trouble, being chased down by Dr. Smurf, going to get out. Oh, and a great Dwarf Toss by Muradin. I thought he was for sure goner. But Gul'dan actually ended up dying, so... Not the one I expected to die. So everyone awfully low on the side of Prism, but... Ariel going to be able to get everyone back to health. And finally, both beacons have been charged up to 100%. And the superior Zerg wave will go over to Prism. And it's so hard to tell with this buggy UI, but yeah, it looks like the Zerg wave for Prism will be in the top. So we're so far seeing a strong 4-man push up in the top, only being defended by 3. And it looks like this top fort probably going to go down. Falstad forced to back off. Gul'dan, even though he has some life drain tools and everything, it's very difficult to safely drain life from something when Chen is kicking you in the face. And breathing fire on you and slowing you and all the awful, awful, terrible things Chen does. The currently OP Chen. So, this top 4 has fallen. Level 10 picked up by Prism. In large part thanks to the split soaking done down here by Dr. Smurf on Arthas. But Deathbot's not that far behind. It's only going to take a couple more minions or maybe some trickle to get them 10. Yes, then level 10 is reached. So we actually do see Medevac picked up by Morales, so she used that for escapes. And also just to reposition herself and the rest of the team, as we saw right there. So both teams choosing to go ahead and pick up their bruiser camps. And it looks like Deathbot's looking to pick up their fire bats, but Chen deciding, no, this is mine. Oh, and unfortunately, Thrall trying to do Sundering during Wandering Keg, which is not going to work. Chen is unstoppable during that, but it is going to result in some damage. And he will be finished off by Falstad. So it was an aggressive invade by Chen on that camp, but fortunately, had no one to back him up to complete the invasion, and will end up falling. Which is actually bad for them because they're not getting any top soak, whereas Falstad up here doing Falstad things, getting that top soak. So Muradin getting awfully low, trying to keep the chase on. Going to have to jump away. Meanwhile, gets the piercing bolt off on 2 people. She's going to take piercing bolt, not Iron Forge momentum, which is interesting. So Falstad, I believe, just used his fly to come in, so will not be able to go top. But of course, with Medevac, that's not totally needed. So a big group goes down on Gul'dan, who I expect to fall without Falstad or Morales. Yeah, thought he was actually gonna get away there, but Sindragosa actually coming out to confirm the kill. Wandering Keg goes off on Muradin. So Morales, unfortunately, had already called down the Medevac and did not get there in time. Oh, her teammates died during that, so she was just kind of forced to walk into a disastrous situation. So the good news for Deathbots, they did deny both beacons for the time being, but that 3-man death there is going to result in a... I was going to say both beacons going over to Prism, but Prism actually choosing to go ahead and pick up the boss. The Archangel going over to the side of Prism. So that is going to be picked up, which is likely going to have to force a response out of Deathbots. Which should mean that without too much trouble, they should pick up both these altars and likely get a 100% Zerg wave in their favor. But Falstad, recognizing that no one is around, choosing to reclaim that. Which I think is smart. You know, it probably doesn't take the entire team to take down the boss. So you can have some people burn it down, and then others try and maintain that map control. I actually think this is a bit of a mistake. Prism being really slow to respond to this top beacon being taken. Maybe it took them by surprise. Maybe they weren't expecting that to be taken, but they take it back. But now the boss has been burned down, so Deathbots able to respond to this in full. So Medevac coming down. Don't know if she's going to get there in time to save Thrall. No, unfortunately Thrall is picked off. Wandering Keg coming down. And Gul'dan is going to go down as well. Morales in a lot of trouble. Gets rooted by Arthas. She falls. And Murden, I think he's going to be able to survive. No, once again, a great kill by Syndragosa. That is the second kill we've seen confirmed by Syndragosa. Just when it looks like someone's going to get away. No, the giant, I think, Lich Dragon? I don't know. I didn't play WoW. From Arthas, picks up the kill. So in addition to that 4-for-nothing trade for Prism, they also get a 100% Zerg wave and a keep. This could very easily be game. Murden just now coming back, but Falstad in a lot of trouble. But it looks like he will get away. I'm not so sure about Thrall. Thrall falls. And I think this is going to be game, unless there is some kind of miracle. The Gust comes out. Don't think it's going to save Morales. Oh, no! Morales actually manages to medevac away in time, but it doesn't matter as the core has gone down. So that is going to be GG. So Prism, very well played game on their part. Luckily for them, deck came back and they were able to plug their router back in. So congratulations to them on that. I think they just really won the bottom lane hard. And then Chen, I think Chen is pretty much the best soul laner in the game right now. He was able to hold that top lane for long enough against Thrall. I think he got ganked once, I think. But for the most part, was able to control that. But yeah, it just poor Morales really got dived. Some very unfortunate medevacs. Yeah, tried to come to help a couple times, but unfortunately just unable to get there in time, which meant that she was just a sitting duck. So yeah. But yeah, that is going to do it for me for tonight. I will be casting some more matches tomorrow. And if you would like to see those, please subscribe. So, thanks guys. Congratulations once again to Prism. It was a well-played match on their part. Convincing victory. And that is going to do it for me for now. Thank you.